shout out to Black and Noble.
I'm gonna give you an example.
Royal Law.
There was a kid in white on white crime. I said, never heard of the concept, did you? But it has to be a category with black on black. I said, would it be wise for you to think that black people commit crimes on black people because they live in the same neighborhood? Maybe it's just that simple. I said, because white people commit crimes on white people because they live in the same neighborhood. This is not complicated stuff, you know.
And keep it that way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's like the brother on the front of the As Is, he from Philly. He got life plus 55 years. And he telling the judge, he said, man, you act like I was Escobar. He said, I ain't saying, you know, but come on, life plus 55. And they get jammed up with the conspiracies, but stuff you already know, but you know what I'm saying, brother.
Absolutely. But and I tell people that too, that conspiracy, the whole idea of conspiracy was created again with a target of black people on their back. You know? They didn't have that, they didn't charge and prove conspiracy that way when they were just dealing with the Italian mob, the Russian mob. But now that they're dealing with black people, the whole level is changed. The whole level is changed.
Everything changed.
Even the proofs on what it is to have a conspiracy has changed.
Well, Muhammad,
pleasure.
Alhamdulillah. Good to see you.
One time where it was just free, they could incarcerate you at all. It was called slavery. When there became enough protests and enough revolts and enough revolutions, they changed it and began to call it criminal justice. They passed the 13th Amendment saying slavery is abolished except when what? Except when you commit a crime. So then therefore they can put you back into slavery if you commit a crime, meaning that you have no rights as a citizen. So what happens then? The process becomes one where you, in order for me to place you under arrest, I have to have an executive to enforce the law. So that executive has a job. Probably some poor white kid who, you know, couldn't do anything else, probably was the biggest punk in school, but he goes and passes the civil service exam and he gets a job as a cop. So now he has a job. His job then is to go out and arrest you, young black man, because you're the product.
So question. Okay, you saying them creating what, other agencies?
Yeah.
As part of the government?
That's exactly what they do. All right? They create, for example, let me take you up the ladder. You get arrested by a cop, right? That's part of the executive branch. The same branch that just passed the law saying that whatever it was that you did could potentially be a crime. Then they have a system, that is a justice system. Features a lawyer, the prosecutor, both are going to get paid. The prosecutor gets paid by the state, and you're probably going to hire a public defender who get paid by the state. So then therefore they're making money, and they're able to employ their kids and feed their families off of your conduct or what they deem to be your conduct. All right? But as soon as you get convicted, then you go to jail. There's a prison complex out there that you got to pay for phone calls, you got to pay for meals, you got to pay for clothing, and people are making money off of each and every aspect of that. So it's about business.
So this is Taj Tariq Bey, master teacher. You know,
Muhammad Bashir.
You know that,
y'all are.
I know him. I know him. He meeting me. I know him.
They have citizenship in the United States, and they have citizenship in Israel.
Okay.
Right? Now this is the sovereign. Let's take the sovereign argument. That makes him a sovereign citizen of Israel. Israel's law is different than the law in the United States. Right? I forget what his name was, Shine Black or something like that. But he kills his father or his mother or something like that. He caught the next plane and went to Israel. Right? Stayed in Israel. Israel refused to extradite him because he was an Israeli citizen. We don't send our citizens back to other places. All right? Now, that's sovereignty. You understand? That's sovereignty. Now you tell me this here. Now you're a black man. You're in the same position. You just killed your mother. You going where? Where you going that you can establish as a sovereignty?
But if you're under a sovereign nation,
what's the sovereign nation?
Say if you're a Moorish American.
Moors have dual citizenship as well. If you can establish that you are Moroccan, you can establish that you have, because they have, according to a treaty between Thomas Jefferson and the Caliph or whoever was back then, they have dual citizenship as well. So if you can establish that, you can go to Morocco. But who in the black community can establish that they have a connection to Morocco?
No.
It can't be done. I know Noble Drew Ali did his best to try to establish the connection. I know that there are people out there right now talking sovereign citizenship because we are of Moor descent. But it doesn't establish you as having sovereignty in that particular place, because none of the people who are arguing this have citizenship in Morocco.
Right. So
that does not make them a sovereign citizen of any place. So, for example, let's assume I commit a crime, just like this kid did.
Right.
And I come before a judge and I say I'm a sovereign citizen and I'm not subject to your jurisdiction.
Right.
What does that do? Because what does that? I can tell you what it does because it happened in courtroom. I was representing the kid. He came in with this guy. I said I'm not touching that. So he had a guy step up on his behalf and say he was a sovereign citizen, which means he wasn't subject to the law. The judge said to him just like this: if you're not a citizen and that you're not subject to this particular law, that means you're a potential flight risk on this particular crime. Because I have jurisdiction over this crime. Revoke his right to bail and hold him until he can establish citizenship someplace else. Locked him up and put him in jail and held him indefinitely. That's what this indefinite detention is about to do with all those people who are talking sovereign citizenship. That's why they're easing these laws in very, very slowly for all the black people who want to say, I'm not a member of the United States government. Well, good. We got a place for you. It's called Guantanamo. We got a place for you. It's called a rendition. We can take you out of the country and lock you up wherever it is until you can establish what nation you're a citizen of.
Oh, so basically, if somebody's stating that they're Moorish American, they are Moorish citizens, and they're under a sovereign jurisdiction, the United States government is making it to where they want to just send you out to Guantanamo Bay or wherever because you don't want to represent.
You don't have any paperwork saying you are Moor, that you from Morocco. Where can they send you? That would be like saying, okay, I can come in here and rob the store and then say, oh, there's nothing you can do with me. I'm a Moorish citizen. When the police come to arrest you, they want to know, well, how do we protect the state?
But they're in our state, though.
That's right. The police want to know, how do we protect our state? You say, well, you can't do anything with me. Okay, well, we don't have any place to send you, so what do? We're going to enforce our law.
Yeah.
We're going to lock you up and hold you, and if you can establish that you can't be processed here, at the very minimum, you'll be off the street. Because you can't make bail and we can't ship you anywhere. So you done opened the door to an indefinite detention by yourself on something that you never really understood the full impact from A to Z on.
So basically, they could just sit you somewhere for the next 5 years before they decide, 10 years,
especially if you're not,
before they decide to even do anything with it.
That's right, especially if
you decided that you was a sovereign.
That's right.
A Moorish American or a sovereign identity.
That's right.
And so this how this system will work with it. But if a person state that he a diplomat and she can verify he's of a diplomatic status,
that's right.
Do they still want to do that?
No, he's a treaty with Trump, a federal treaty between countries would trump that statute. You understand? A federal treaty would trump, meaning it would override.
Right.
You ever played bid whist or you ever played spades? It would trump that. It would mean it would be bigger than your particular statute. He committed a crime here, but he's a diplomat. He's immune from prosecution because we agreed that our diplomats would not be prosecuted in your country. We'll prosecute them in our country, but we've agreed by virtue of the government, the United States government, the president, everybody sat down, we agreed that we won't prosecute your people for crimes in our country.
Even if that diplomat is not still of this United States.
If he has if he's a United States citizen.
But he's in our country though, that don't make sense though. If he's in our country, then why is he here though? He's not supposed to be here.
He's here doing his diplomatic job. He's not here as a citizen, he's not here even as a visitor. He's here only as a diplomat under the laws of diplomacy. And so therefore that particular law says that he can't be prosecuted for a crime. There's nothing they can do about it.
See what I'm trying to say?
Immune from prosecution.
If he is a diplomat, but he's here in the United States, he don't have diplomat other states. He may visit other states like Africa or wherever. But if he could verify that he holds diplomatic status,
that's right.
That means those countries don't have no authority or jurisdiction to imprison him or confine him.
That means that if this country has an agreement with his country, that as long as he's operating on diplomatic status, he cannot be prosecuted. That's what that means.
I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I pulled this one together.
Oh, it is deep.
When I do that,
it is deep.
See, because a lot of people being misled under this sovereign belief system, and you just said that the criminal system is getting prepared for people under that belief system.
Absolutely.
That they won't just put you away indefinite.
Absolutely.
Till you establish identity, a place of origin. They ain't just going
One thing about white America is we have to come to an understanding is they don't do anything in white America without black America in mind.
Right. Well,
right?
we helped made America.
And they understand that.
We the greatest, but see, they practice euphemism. See, in the deep levels, you know, euphemism, like the lady of Planned Parenthood, they playing like we're gonna give different cures to different people in Africa. Basically, where we had the assumption that we are curing them, but we eliminating them. You know, we going.
That's like a meditation piece.
It's deep. See, you just told me something, right? And I know you as a lawyer should know if anybody knows.
No, I'm not saying I'm brilliant. I'm just saying that sometimes, every once in a while, I can put the pieces together, and when they come together, alhamdulillah. If they don't come together, then I'll question it some more.
This minute, I got under the assumption in my mind that to represent myself as my own attorney, you know, like by a special appearance. But basically, when listening to you, I may be putting my foot in my own mouth instead of my own self.
Now, here's what you do. The way you resolve that, go back and look at the record on your special appearance, and see what was the nature of the discussion that led to the ruling, and see whether it was dismissed by virtue of your special appearance or by virtue of the weakness of the case or the lack of evidence in the case.
Right.
Because the judge will take whatever opportunity he can to get rid of the case, and so will the prosecutor. They don't want to prosecute just any old everything. You know?
So this has been a project.
Right. So, I'm in my head in a way because if I was to have another situation come up, my head tell me still represent myself as sovereign. You see what I mean?
And you know what I always say to people? You know what I always say to people? This is a whole, this is the whole thing I got from the Hadith. And it's a paraphrase though, but if I was successful in my race with one horse the first time, and then I rode that horse the second time and was successful, I would ride it the third time until it became unsuccessful, until it became clear that there was something else going on other than the horse or other than my ability to ride. So why wouldn't you continue on the path that you're on until somebody shows you in court that it wasn't what it was that you were saying that was getting you out of these incidents. You understand?
Yeah.
To me, that makes sense. If you going in there and you're saying that my name is copyrighted, I'm a common law citizen, etc., etc., and they're throwing the cases out. Every time you get into a situation and you do that and it's thrown out, why would you stop? I'm just suggesting to you that regardless of that, that is not the law. That is, they don't even care about any of that. Because can you imagine? That would mean that every black man who learns that particular law would be free tomorrow. And I say in this little book right here, that if you woke up tomorrow and every black man in the country decided that they were not going to sell drugs on a Tuesday, on Wednesday, when they realized no drugs were being sold and black people were united to do it, they would pass a law on Thursday saying it's illegal to conspire to not sell drugs on Tuesday. That's what they would do.
So like, basically...
You think I'm joking? Take to possession with intent within 1,000 foot, possession with intent within 500 foot. Every jurisdiction in this country started out with just simple possession if you had a small amount of drugs. Then they moved to possession with intent to sell when black people began to move weight, began to get involved in the drug game. As long as it was Italians and mafia, it was just possession, etc. Now it's possession with intent because young black kids got involved in it, right? Then, because young black kids were doing it in urban settings, they moved it to 1,000 foot within a housing project and enhanced the penalty. I mean, 1,000 feet of a school.